Sofia Gubaidulina is a Russian composer and pianist. She started learning piano at age 5, and about a year or so later is when she decided that she wanted to be a composer. She was bored of playing the beginner children's music that she'd been introduced to so far, and being a young child, she thought that this was all music was. So she decided that she would compose more herself. In 1954, she attended the Moscow Conservatory, where she was a pupil of Dmitri Shostakovich. During her time there, she had dropped piano in order to focus more on composition. Following her final examination, there was some concern about her strong religious expression among the committee members. She was then given the following piece of advice from Shostakovich. "Everybody thinks that you are moving in the wrong direction, but I wish for you to continue on your mistaken path." During her graduate studies, she spent a lot of time exploring different genres and searching for unique sounds through playing unconventional instruments, as well as exploring unconventional playing techniques. This interest in tone can be heard in a lot of her compositions. Gubaidulina's career was largely affected by the Soviet Union and their strict rules, which required all composers to use straightforward, patriotic, and folkloric styles which supported Soviet socialism. At this point, Gubaidulina had had some success as a composer, including her first success abroad in 1979 in Paris. Later that year, she was unfortunately condemned as a nonconformist composer, along with several other Russian composers. Her compositions were not to be performed, and she was no longer allowed to travel. She did still continue to compose during this time, however. In 1982, she was allowed to perform her compositions in her own country again, but she had felt that she'd lost her connection to Earth, so she was unable to compose. In 1991, she made the decision to leave Russia, and she moved to Germany, which is where she still lives today. Musical Toys is a set of 14 short piano pieces. Gubaidulina describes this work as pictorial miniatures that she would have liked to play as a child. Today I'll be playing 4 of these pieces. So the first I'll be playing is titled Mechanical Accordion. It juxtaposes alternating tone clusters in a short rhythmic figure with fragmented single melody lines, which is meant to mimic the sound of an accordion. The next is titled Magic Smith. Its consistent 8th note rhythm is meant to depict a fairy tale-like blacksmith forging magical tools that operate by themselves. The next is the drummer, which, as the title suggests, is fairly percussive. It sort of mimics a marching parade, but the tempo is too quick to realistically be a march, which adds some humor to the piece. And the last piece that I'll be playing, which is also the last of the set, is titled Forest Musicians. This piece's short phrases and gestures suggest a conversation between various characters. As you listen, I invite you to imagine the narrative that might be taking place within the music.